the AWS global outage yesterday. How great were those memes, by the way? Unbelievable, right?
It's crazy. Did you see the mattress one I sent you guys as well? People's mattresses were malfunctioning. And so like that's hilarious. Like the one thing
it's honestly
that you don't
insane that the dependency on the internet is absolutely mental,
how
man.
fragile is our society, bro?
It's crazy. And then you realize what's AWS in your life that like breaks. Like I had this Fitbit thing I have at home, and I was like, oh man, why isn't it syncing today?
I can't even start my day.
Yeah, I can't even.
AWS goes down. You can't get on Zoom. Your mattress is too hot. You're like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not too crazy today.
The crazy thing is, imagine it's actually waking you up. Like at a wrong time, because a lot of people use it to like wake them up.
But how funny is that? When you wake up, you're probably emailing your boss, I need a personal day.
I need a personal day because
today did not start off on the right foot. My AI-powered blender wasn't working. Like nothing's working right now.
When you say it like that, it's crazy how crazy this all is.
There was a great tweet that said, if your job was affected by the AWS outage, you don't have a real job.
Yeah, that was good. Welcome to another episode of Not Investment Advice. You got Jack Butcher, Bilal Zaidi Trung Phan. Trung Stunner is moving this week, so he's looking a little bit different, bro. What's going on? You got the eyes hat back. Is that the no fear?
The European eyes hat.
There we go. Nike collab or something. Oh, it's just a Nike cap, right? It's Nike, but you got a little flair to it. Letting them know. Always watching. Streets is always watching Trung Stunner. All right, let's talk about the topics, boys. We got Cobie. It's a whole section for Cobie. The crypto OG was making waves last night on the timeline, boys. I want to hear Jack's take on this. Incredible.
You know, the evening Twitter trending, man, that's tough. Like you're trying to wind down and
yeah, it's crazy. But we'll do a little play-by-play because there was already chatter from Cobie discussing something about himself early on, but the big news was that they'd put out this NFT to bring back their podcast, eight episodes, 25 million, a crazy amount, and then Coinbase bought that on chain. Everyone saw it. It was like a big deal. And then this morning, today is Tuesday, October 21st, Coinbase announced they're buying Echo, which is his company he started, for 375 million. Makes a lot more sense. So we'll break that all down. It was quite interesting.
Oh, Cobie started the Echo.
Yeah, I think he's the founder, right? Yeah, so yeah, it was all wrapped in there.
Oh, so that marketing genius.
Yeah, exactly. And then we got ChatGPT, Walmart versus Amazon. Trung's got some takes on that. And then let's see in the AI section, we'll see if we get to it. But DeepSeek, there were a few interesting breakthroughs. One on something about image compression. I saw someone call it the JPEG moment, which honestly, I don't know enough about what they did, but that's interesting. There's also been these AI models trading all the different models, and it's kind of related to that. So let's see what we get to here, boys.
Well, it's also going to happen during our call. I think Sam Altman tweeted something this morning. They're going to do an announcement. I think they're launching their browser during our call.
Oh, wow.
Open browser.
Damn.
So okay. I think we got to get Bilal's takes on the browser situation here.
Well, do you guys use Perplexity or anything?
No, I use Chrome. I'm in Bilal's former employer. You guys did a good job, man.
You guys keep it in the ecosystem, boy. Keep the bags pumping. But yeah, Jack, let's start with what happened yesterday. You're obviously the NFT king here. You're the resident crypto degen here. So what was going on, man? Because we've all probably seen Cobie's tweets over the years. He's hilarious. He's also like a very helpful.
His podcast was amazing. His podcast was
UpOnly, incredible name as well, by the way. But
although I saw the commentary. The last sponsor for UpOnly was FTX, and
that's part of it. So yeah, maybe Jack, do you want to give us a rundown of what you saw?
Who is Cobie for the listener? What's going on with this acquisition, and are NFT markets back?
Or generally the market in general. Go on.
I'll answer the last question first. Like the hilarious thing, I think he updated his bio this morning to say like most successful NFT artist of 2025. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's true.
And obviously, like the original speculation of the use cases of NFTs was actually more stuff like this. You know, it's like, how do you like put a contractual agreement into an object that somebody can buy, like buy your time or buy a service. So ironically, the biggest and most notable NFT purchase of 2025 is this almost arbitrary thing relative to the rest of the way the world understands NFTs, right? And it will be interesting. It will get headlines. It will bring maybe some attention to the rest of that world, but largely it's like a one-off application of the technology. Doesn't have immediate impact on the rest of the NFT world, in my estimation, anyway. But Cobie is an English dude who's been posting about crypto, I think, for the last 10 years or so, and very beloved character on crypto Twitter. And Echo, I think he started working on that 2 or 3 years ago. And it was essentially in response to, most of these new crypto products coming to market the deals are always getting filled by the same, like, small group of people. It's like the deal flow that you get as a venture capitalist or somebody who's been around for 3 or 4 crypto cycles. And then a lot of the explosive growth in crypto comes from those types of deals. And they're like, until very recently, until Echo was put out, those were not accessible by the average participant whatsoever. So the entire infrastructure, and I have an account, but I haven't spent that much time on there, so I may be getting some of the specifics wrong, is this like capital formation tool for crypto. So think of it as like a angel list that's crypto native. Maybe that's an oversimplification, but you could build your cap table, you can issue these updates, you can there's like ways to conduct public token sales, or these like crypto native, I don't know if it's equity. I'm not exactly sure of all the different specific ways that you can raise money, but that's the idea. It's like early stage crypto companies raise money from big group of people. There are syndicates on there. So like there'll be a Cobie syndicate where the deals that he gets access to, he can then sort of offer up to people who follow his syndicate on there. And the speculation of Coinbase acquiring Echo is essentially them getting into that market. And a few people have tweeted in the last few hours, it is likely because they are betting on this idea of the Clarity Act getting through, which is this legislation that's going through Congress at the moment that essentially is, again, this is probably reductionist, is going to legalize this stuff at a scale that has not yet been determined. So companies like Coinbase want to participate in that. Yeah, exactly.
But the tweet you
simple
said,
thing
right?
is like, legal. Again, they've like, I'm sure. I know when he was building this, he was writing a lot about all of the loopholes, all of the sort of legal. It's not loopholes, like all the hurdles they had to jump through to even make this possible in the first place. They've done a ton of work to make these things legal. And obviously a distribution like Coinbase plugged into something like that could be absolutely absurd, the scale that they can get that to. So it's a bet on the environment changing. There's a guy called DWR, Dan Romero. I think we've talked about him before. Founder of Farcaster. Right? Yeah, he was ex-Coinbase employee. Coinbase's Echo acquisition is a bet on a post-Clarity Act world where there are 100 to 1,000 times more interesting on-chain assets.
Yeah, so, and Jack, also this idea of like tokenized assets, like we've heard that idea of all assets being tokenized. And just to give a specific example, if you could, right now you can buy shares in a public company, you log into Robinhood, you buy that. For a lot of private companies, is secondary markets, which is not that liquid. And if you go on echo.xyz or XYZ, if you're in the UK, it basically says early stage investing for experienced crypto investors. Join private funding rounds for new startups or token projects. When I looked up signing up for this, when he like launched it originally, like the early projects, I think they are like crypto companies, but they're like legit. Like there's legit companies. It's not just a random like shitcoin launching, and it's not like no disrespect to like a pump fund, but where anyone can just go and create like any token, right? Like this is
it's actually like very high bar of of documentation required.
Exactly.
And
yeah, it's like a real company, and it says here
No
available
shade
for
to
qualified
Pokemon.
investors only. So maybe that, I don't know if that's accredited or not, but essentially, it's a legit company, obviously. And but yeah, this idea of being able to like create the crypto rails for that versus just what it is right now for a lot of early stage companies. You guys have done early stage investing. It's like you basically get a PDF and you're signing it on something, and then you get some random details back, and you're like, oh, I own 20K worth of like whatever in this cap table or whatever. Now, obviously, AngelList, like you said, really helped move that all forward, and they've created infrastructure for startups pretty much. But this was something for like crypto specific companies, it looks like.
Wait, so can we just confirm this then? The thing yesterday where all the memes came out and you guys were just hammering the DMs with the jokes about Cobie getting his podcast acquired for 25 mil. This is clearly just part of the launch, right? Like, it's like, Jack, the 25 mil was probably part of the acquisition price. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, probably documented otherwise, but the two numbers fit together in a pretty convincing way.
Adds up to 400, right?
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
Wait, what's it going to say?
I think
go ahead.
What's
sorry.
fascinating is like, this is kind of the stuff we've been talking about over the last few years, where these companies, I think this is an incredible way to structure that deal, however it's classified, is the amount of press, like organic attention that this thing got prior to the announcement because they did this, plus obviously the platform actually coming back and being, I would say, by an order of magnitude, one of the biggest like crypto media entities. Whatever they plan on doing with it will be supported by this. It's probably, there's probably some like acqui-hire situation going on too, right? Like, I'm sure he's going to be working.
And this is a demonstration of the platform, right? Like, this is something you could do on Echo. That's the entire point.
Well, and boys, just for people
NFT.
who didn't see the tweets and stuff yesterday, I just want to boys,
totally
let's just
separate.
tell, like, here's the actual NFT, right? So just to tie it together, this was the NFT that Cobie and Ledger had put up, because the history is people were asking, when's the next season? Like, what? Bring back the podcast. We're in a bull market, all that sort of stuff. Because it's quite, like, if you remember the last bull market, they were really central. They had, obviously Sam Bankman-Fried. They had they had a lot of big heavy hitters on there. Do Kwon on there. I'm pretty sure Saylor went on there. Obviously, Saylor only goes on the biggest and best podcast. So, but basically, and Cobie said, I mean, again, who knows which part was just a joke versus like a big plan all along. And I don't know when he put this NFT up, but he essentially said, UpOnly, admission, one season of UpOnly TV. For people listening, really quickly, it says, the holder of this admission ticket can compel Cobie and Ledger Status, who's his co-host, into performing, like monkeys, 8 episodes of UpOnly TV. It does not convey any sponsorship rights, and we are allowed to call you idiots for buying it or ignore you completely with zero mentions of your existence. Yeah, during our 8-episode season, we get to pick the guests, but if we like you, then we might ask you for some suggestions. And on the left, you can see Coinbase.eth on the chain, boys. 25 mil.
And then Brian, so this pops off, and then an hour later, Brian Armstrong, the CEO and founder of Coinbase, goes, this is 100% true.
Yeah.
So, man, like, very smart, very well executed.
Yeah, I know, because last night, a lot of the speculation was, I mean, obviously the number is crazy. We're like putting it for an actual podcast on its own.
3 million episode. Like,
yeah,
just
let's put it in
context.
perspective. Yeah, go on, Trunk.
So here's context. What does Rogan do? He does 150 episodes a year. So 450 over 3 years. So Rogan got 250 mil.
You can reference this if you like.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, this one was saying they're paying 3.125 per episode for 8 episodes. Yeah, obviously we're going to break down this. Obviously not just for the episodes of what's happening beyond that. Just to put in perspective, Joe Rogan, the biggest podcast in the world, was acquired for, let's say, 250 million. Obviously the numbers are disputed, or like there's a range that's quoted. That's 800K per episode versus 3 million. So obviously there's a massive disparity. Call a Daddy, again,
that's crazy.
I don't think also these deals are all different. One was like an actual full acquisition. Joe
does that
Rogan
make any commercial sense
Dude,
whatsoever?
hold on.
$1 million
Bilal,
an
scroll
episode.
down.
I was going to say, I was going to say also, just this is not them acquiring the podcast. This is the rights to 8 episodes.
3 episodes.
This is
Keep-
not
keep
even
scrolling.
you can monetize. Like
What's the
when
first comment?
oh yeah, they just bought direct line to the crypto whales. Yeah, I mean,
No. Well, I mean, like, obviously they bought it for. I mean, this makes way more sense now, right? But dude, Ronaldo is making 7 mil a game
crazy.
with the Saudi league. So like, Kobe's making like Ronaldo money.
well, also Trung, did you guys see? Because the chatter from the day before, Jack, were you following this? Like, there was a reply from Cobie from someone had been speculating Kobe's a billionaire, right? Because there's all this chat, and just for people who are listening to this, like, who cares about all this? I kind of get it. Like, if you don't follow these people, you'd be like, who really cares? The point is, Kobe's one of the few people is actually, like, a lot of people in this world are kind of annoying and idiots, to be honest. And like, he's like a lovable
Oh, he's
idiot, like,
amazing.
in the same way we
He's
would try to be.
hilarious.
So he's a super funny dude and very, you know, he doesn't take him too seriously. And the speculation I find generally, not really being in that world, is people just throw out these massive numbers all the time and just assume everyone who was in it from when he was is like a billionaire essentially. And then his response was giving very detailed, very transparent context around saying he's not, obviously, and wasn't until maybe he might be creeping up there now.
Yes.
But regardless, he was basically just explaining, like, giving context. Don't take all the hype for real. Like, everyone who's in 2015 bought Bitcoin doesn't mean they're like worth hundreds of millions or even a billion or whatever. So that was quite interesting context where people are like, oh, that's funny. We just assumed he's a billionaire and all this sort of stuff. And then the next day, this happens.
All the tweets were Kobe complains about not being a billionaire. Next day, 25 bill for coin.
Yeah, exactly. 25 and then 400 million total.
Well,
so.
let me add one more nugget here, because when Jack was explaining Echo's, what it does and its value, the part, Jack, that and then Jack's a distribution master, so I loved it. Coinbase's distribution. I mean, we have to make this key here. Remember, Circle, the stablecoin issue, America's largest stablecoin issuer, I think 60 bill on chain of stablecoin versus Tether, which is, I don't know, 130, 200 bill. So much smaller than Tether, but legal in the US, although Tether is making that play by actually grabbing the former, one of the top Trump administration officials in the crypto, Bo Hines, to launch in the US. But anyways, distribution, Jack. If Coinbase can take 50% of Circle's revenue, that's how valuable the distribution is. This is the point you're making. So Coinbase, obviously in America, is number one, the top distribution for any crypto asset. Like, by far. It's not even close. That's correct.
Yeah.
So this play, then, you think will blow this market up? And when people talk about 100 to 1,000 times ICO days, can we talk about the ICO days? I wasn't involved with crypto at all. You guys, I think, were very involved or got started. Like, what are we going to see?
I was barely, like, when that was going on, I was barely, like, figuring the stuff out. So I did not see a lot of that. But I don't even know how the fees and the structure happened there. I'm assuming like the same as it is now, where teams hold a portion of the token supply and launch.
Max
and I think
extract was going on.
I think that's like the structure of some of these Echo deals is exactly that, right? It's very transparent, but it's like the team will own this percentage of the token. It vests over this period of time. There's an unlock on this date. And largely that stuff is really crypto native, like these platforms that allow you to trade, or, in the last couple of months, we've seen these like decentralized trading platforms that share their revenue and buy back their tokens, and all of the structure of how they make money is downstream of like what is possible in regulation wise. And if the speculation is that like more industries will be able to get involved, you can pay dividends to your users, things like that. I think that makes it a way more attractive and the potential for much more capital and much more like many more types of companies outside of just these like pure play crypto, basically iterations on the same thing, right? You're just going around like, here's another prediction market, here's another decentralized exchange, here's another this stuff that doesn't leave the crypto economy at all, to like making this a way for people to raise money for all types of different ventures using crypto, because the capital formation in crypto is like unparalleled, right? You can raise money from anywhere in seconds, and
unparalleled. It is without parallel. You can raise capital with crypto.
It's the
also
truth.
Jack, outside of that, like utility wise, all jokes aside, you can actually, I don't know how this works legally, but if you are tokenizing an asset, like let's say you own a tiny percent of a company, you can then sell that. There's liquidity. Compare that to like if you own percentage of Stripe, 0.01% of Stripe, you're going on like NASDAQ second exchange and you're saying, hey, I've got this amount
on your Bloomberg terminal.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's just not like, it's clearly will be probably more liquid ways to do it in the future, and this might be it. So from a very macro level, if Coinbase are betting on that, buying the infrastructure, making a big splash, 25 million of the 400 is this big publicity stunt, right? It's not really just an acquisition of a podcast. It wouldn't make financial sense. Also, they're a public company, right? So like their numbers are going to be scrutinized for doing any of this stuff. So I do think, like the way I said it in the DMs was something along the lines of they're acquiring a moment in like this bull market and where everyone's talking about what they're doing, and then they will be monetizing like all activity, almost all active, not all, but a massive percentage of activity of any transaction will be happening on Coinbase. So long term, it could be an incredibly smart deal, but it's a big number. It's not like, I don't know any of the Echo numbers here. So,
well, one other detail we should have probably mentioned at the beginning, or I should have mentioned at the beginning, is the Echo model. They take 5% of profit of a user. So if you lose money or you break even, they don't make any money. They take 5% on any profit you make as a user, as an investor in whatever deal.
Over what time? Only if
it depends on the project. Yeah. When you sell, I assume. Yeah.
So Jack, do you know much about Sonar, which is also one of their products by Echo?
Sonar, I think, is the token, the like token specific tool.
Yeah, because it says the key to the public asset sales you want to invest in, not platform, not launchpad. Sonar allows you to use an ID to access public sales outside of Echo. So I don't fully know what that means. But
that probably means like once those tokens are public and live, other people can trade them. I don't know if they have that same gated fee structure on there. I don't know enough details about that, but probably another thing that Coinbase wants, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's what I saw. One of their like chief business officer or something was talking about Sonar, or someone senior there was referencing that.
Yeah, so
it's definitely
I guess
infrastructure play as well.
I could have said this better again, but it's like the cycles of crypto were like, and maybe there's a comparison, like the ICO comparison is interesting because it's kind of like at the other end of the regulation thing before anybody even knows what's going on, right? And that's like a lot of those pitches were like, or white papers of like, we're going to use like Bitcoin mining to like go to the moon and cure cancer. People are like, oh, this is like just a complete nonsensical white paper with no
no backing.
I'm sure there were some like legit efforts in there, but it was seen as this way to like make these ridiculous promises and raise money and dump a massive portion of the token supply on the people that believed in the idea. And this is now, hey, serious people can essentially take advantage of the same process, right? This is not going to be like basement dwelling con artists, essentially.
Nothing
like,
wrong with dwelling in the basement. Being a con artist.
There he is. There he is. Yeah.
But if you're in your basement listening to this, no shade thrown. But if you're doing in your basement, then we're throwing
I will
Fair
say,
enough, that
boys,
was-
we've been really missing a beat here. We've not been monetizing the podcast at all. The only monetization was getting paid in a sauna one time. Jack got a sauna. And we
Incredibly
talked
illiquid.
about it.
Healwithheat.com. All right?
Yeah.
Healwithheat.com.
We could
That's
have been putting
probably-
a sauna NFT on the chain for 12.5 mil, like half the price. It's 50% discount. Still open to it. We're still open to it there. But I mean, no, all jokes aside, crazy. It was a pretty interesting, very one-off deal. That's why I think it was worthy of talking about. Even if you're not interested in this world, if you're here for edge of the internet, what's going on, like this is a public company, one of the most important companies in America, right? So, yeah, man, I'm just even on the timeline now. The memes are still going. It's incredible, man. This, it's so good. Anything else on the Coinbase stuff, boys? Jack, great breakdown, mate. Thanks for
Thank you.
sharing all
Thank
that.
you, Jack. Great to have the squad back.
Here we go. Yeah,
Oh, can I add one more piece
go
of
for it.
speculation?
Go
Remember
on.
we talked about Zora a few
Yeah.
months ago. I wonder if Coinbase will have say over where the podcast comes back to, how they broadcast it.
Zora,
And,
you can stream, yeah?
Zora is now adding these streaming features, and obviously Coinbase is trying to push Base. Maybe Zora is one of the more prominent applications built on top of Coinbase's L2. So some speculation there, and I think there's some big token unlock for Zora in the next
Oh,
recent
okay.
in the near future. So you can extrapolate from that some moves are being made to bring attention to
Wait,
such
you can
tokens.
extrapolate or you can mass extract from that.
Well, guess what? I actually only found this out because ChatGPT, they have like the summary articles. They're like, oh, here's something you might be interested in.
Oh, wait,
Couple
you're doing
weeks
this
ago
thing
that
where they're
came
sending
up.
you articles every morning?
No, it's just like they must have just been testing something. But sometimes it's like, oh, here's a thread for you to go into. Like, what do you want to do today? Instead of just the box. Where it's got the input, they have
Maximize
these little
engagement.
summaries. And then obviously I've been asking it questions about Zora in the past, so it surfaced that. So that's the only reason I know about it. And I don't know, maybe I wasn't here the week that they got listed on Robinhood a couple of weeks ago too. Zora token.
Okay.
It was big,
I did not know that.
very big.
Speaking of
So
one
yeah,
last
just be interesting to see how they pull it off and how it plays.
we're gonna have
into
to
all the
do a
stuff they're
Robinhood
doing.
segment soon, boys. It is the
They've
best
been on a
performing,
tear, man. They've been on a
best
crazy
performing
tear.
stock on the S&P 500, up 260%. Unbelievable, man.
Incredible. No, I have to say, as a small position as well, but like they have been on a tear, man. What they've been doing is crazy.
Oh, features. Like they've been
Yeah,
rolling.
yeah. Like they've been so aggressive. Like I moved over like retirement accounts because they're like 2% on all. Like I know people tradfi friends moving stuff over to Robinhood to get. I mean, it sounds like not a lot, but if you've got a decent size 401k, that's just
What,
going
they'll
to sit
do a
there.
match?
Yeah,
They'll
it's
do
like 2%. Yeah,
Wow.
it's a significant amount of money. So it's just for transferring it over. It's like a one-click thing where it's like automatically you can bring it over
hold
and
on,
they do
Bilal.
everything on the back
So
end.
if you transfer over $1 million 401k, they give you 20k.
Yeah.
Oh
There was some of them were capped. They had different offers in the market. Like right now, I see the offer for 2% uncapped. At one point, it was 1%. It just depends. It depends on what you're doing. Then even for cash, like they've got the 4% cash account. Like you can get in a lot of places now. It's 3.75.
Well, to
So
make
it's
the
just-
point, right? They probably, yeah. I mean, dude, if you drop in a mill with them, there's so many ways for them to monetize that, right? Whatever, they could get the
Yeah, I mean
interest
for
margin,
them,
Or-
you're taking it from Vanguard to them,
or
or
offer you a lot of trading products.
there you go. Yeah, leverage trading on the 401k. There we go. Yeah,
100x margin.
Yeah, yeah. Seriously. No, but all jokes aside, their product is they've done an amazing job, man.
They've democratized finance.
Unbelievable.
if you will.
Well, also considering, boys, we covered it on the pod. Remember what happened with GameStop? All the bad blood that was, the feeling towards them for a while was very negative with what happened that one day. I remember us covering it. It's literally in the back of my memory. But what was it? They essentially shut down when people were trying to buy or sell or whatever it was on the day.
Ken Griffin told him to turn the buy button off, right?
Yeah. That was it. And then they had to do. Vlad had to do all the rounds allegedly.
Whoa, Jack.
There we go. Not trying to get sued again. You know what I mean? So yeah. All right. All right, boys. Should we move on to the next topic here? Yeah, that was really good, interesting topic. Trung, you want to talk a little bit about ChatGPT? You said ChatGPT, Walmart versus Amazon, but you also had mentioned this post you had shared in the DMs here. Let me pull this up.
Yeah, let's start with the Wall Street Journal dropped a heady article. So we've been talking about Sam Altman's machinations to will forth the AI industry. And it all begins with the fact that ChatGPT almost has 1 billion users. People like Jack are just opening up the app and getting functionality and value from articles that they had read about Zora months ago, right? Like they are driving engagement. And dude, when you reach the level that they're at, think about it, right? They're at Google, Facebook levels of users, billion plus pretty soon. Those are sentient.
Wait, Trung. I mean, let's not get too crazy now. We're talking 3 billion plus is the move here,
Okay, yo, so 1 billion is not cool anymore is what you're trying to say, right? It's true. YouTube's
do you know what's cool?
Right?
3 billion. Yeah. Just almost half the planet. That's what you need.
Okay, the point is you cross the billy, you should be making more than what OpenAI is from ads, right? Like they're doing nothing on the ad side right now. I mean, coming, but you're finding ways to monetize. Google does 300 plus bill, and Facebook does 200 bill-ish, okay? So when OpenAI is telling you, we're going to make $100 billion by 2030, it's actually not insane when you think about the usage. And that's where this comes into play, right? That's what I wanted to ask you guys about it. Because I think actually Jack directly, ChatGPT probably uses it more than me. Probably same with you, Bilal. Because listen, I use barely, I'm multimodal. I'm not yoked to one thing, okay, boys? But let me drop the article from yesterday, which is a pretty juicy, like a gossipy intel from WSJ. So we all know that NVIDIA put $100 billion investment into OpenAI. The deal terms are it's over a decade. Probably, they'll give them $10 billion every time OpenAI does a gigawatt data center, which usually costs $40 billion. So NVIDIA will give them $10 billion, but they got to pay $40. And some of that includes not just chips from NVIDIA, the networking gear, etc. So this bombshell WFJ article dropped yesterday. Sam Altman basically he wants to make himself the center of the AI industry because right now it's NVIDIA, right? So it's a battle right now over who owns the eyeballs, Sam Altman, and who owns the chips and infrastructure, which is NVIDIA. So they're obviously going to play off of each other. This is why NVIDIA is invested in XAI. This is why NVIDIA is helping, sending chips to Meta, but also funding all these open source projects. Neither want to be beholden to the other party because that's clearly what's developing here. So apparently, an article over this in the fall, earlier, say September, had come out where OpenAI was exploring renting or buying Google's TPU chips. Jensen Huang reads the article, calls up Sam Altman. Hey, is this article true? Sam Altman, listen, we're exploring other options. That kind of accelerated Jensen's timeline to make this investment into OpenAI. So, and then right after that happens, Sam Altman goes out and announces a deal with AMD and Broadcom for AMD's chips and then Broadcom's own chip. So he kind of played Jensen to make this investment and then went out and secured even more diversified GPU for OpenAI. So yeah, that was the big thing for that. And the other thing from the article that came out is you guys are talking about the financial engineering. NVIDIA now might be putting up their balance sheet and saying, we will be the credit behind OpenAI's build-up. So now we're reaching the point of, if OpenAI fails, it's going to have a cascading effect now. Because it went from, NVIDIA was just investing in them, the 100 bill over X amount of years, but now it's saying, actually, we will back them up. We will provide our credit base for them to borrow against. So that's kind of the latest update, and then we're not going to be able to do the browser stuff that comes out, but we can maybe touch on it. So here, I'll ask you guys, I'll throw it out to you guys. What do you guys believe the possibilities are of chat as a shopping interface from your usages? I'm curious.
I mean, for mine, highly possible. For like a lot of the stuff that I try and figure out would be able to sell me something.
Yeah. Like recommendation-based stuff when you're researching, I could see that for sure. I think less so for me in the current interface for browsing stuff, but they can easily add that. For example, travel, like I don't necessarily want a text here's 5 hotels, but they already bring in like images and stuff like that. So I would definitely, if it was so good that I trusted it to be exactly the right recommendation, like I tell it very specific criteria and it says, oh, based on what you said, here's the hotel with the balcony view available on the dates you said. It uses your Marriott points, which I don't even use, but you know, I'm using that as example.
Based on the erotica chat that you had.
Exactly, yeah. Which we're not really telling you we're using, but there's a view. You
which balcony you might want to.
There we go.
Which chair you might want to sit in your hotel.
Yeah, it has a cuck chair. There you go.
Might find you the cuck chair, the ideal cuck chair in the Amalfi Coast.
No, but that's true. No, but that is definitely like I would ask it for, or like I'm looking for a camera and it's like I'm using it already for like I'm looking for this. Can you compare it to this other one I've used previously? So stuff like that. I'm already using it, and now I'm normally clicking off and just then going to find a deal for it or something. So I can definitely see that working. But I do think there's just the visual element. I think people underestimate how much of shopping is visual. Like certain categories, obviously like fashion, clothes, it's all visual, obviously. It's lifestyle. Even like if you compare Google Shopping, which has images, to like Instagram, right? Instagram is where a lot of people are going to go and actually browse. They're like looking for inspiration for a suit or a dress or whatever. So I think just that, if you compare that to Amazon for many years has been trying to compete in the fashion space. And if you just think of like brand wise, like Amazon's brand is not, oh, I'm really like feeling luxurious today. Let me go on Amazon to buy clothes, right? It's more utility. Like, oh, I've got this pair of trainers. I know I can just the size 9, like send it to my house quickly. Versus let me go and like look at all the cool sneakers available. Like it's a completely different experience. So I do think that there is an element of like transitioning people from that mindset of like I'm used to chat, and how does that translate
is
a bit of a shift.
Is such an incredible shopping tool, right? It's like to your point, Bilal, that's a great point. You're not, when you're typing and chatting, are you actually in like the I'm ready to pull the trigger mode? Like the Instagram is the checkout counter at the grocery store, right? The chocolate bars, the magazines, and the Tic Tacs are there.
Yeah, it's visually. But I would actually say, Trung, I would see it as just different types of transactions. Like for me, it's just like I would actually put Instagram and Pinterest closer to each other in that, like, you know, it's upper funnel discovery in marketing terms, right? It's like I'm browsing, I'm looking for stuff. Versus like, oh, I know exactly what I want. Then you often right now go to Google, or you go now probably ChatGPT. And I'd say ChatGPT right now in its current form is like mid to bottom funnel. It's like, help me research something. And then if they can add the bottom part, which is now help me convert, like help me buy this.
Well, here's where it's coming in, right? They got the deal now with checkout. So in ChatGPT with Shopify, Etsy, and Walmart are the 3 big ones. And actually, a really good example I've heard bandied around is the idea that like, this is the opposite of Facebook ads. As in merchants are trying to find people on Facebook, right? And then like random, Ben Thompson wrote, merchants are trying to find a long tail, customers for their long tail products, right? Like whatever. Bilal's runners that can work in the Amalfi Coast and perfect for certain types of chairs in hotel rooms. Like that's what it's looking for. Right?
I don't want my name associated with that, Trunk. There we go.
That's right.
Open toes. Sorry, just unnecessary. Sorry.
No, the opposite is chatting, right? Where you're trying to discover long tail customer interests. So it's actually the opposite of, instead of sending long tail products to customers, it's merchants are going to try to find long tail like queries in these chats, which again, man, we can joke about the types of chats that are going on. But Walmart is interesting because it's become, Walmart has outperformed Amazon, which had its hilarious the AWS global outage yesterday. How great were those memes, by the way? Unbelievable, right?
It's crazy. Did you see the mattress one I sent you guys as well? People's mattresses were malfunctioning. That's crazy, man. That's hilarious. Drac, do you have the mattress, 8 Sleep?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Yes, we got it.
Oh, you got it. Did yours? Sorry if this is too personal.
It didn't work.
Did it like warm up or something? Because that's.
I think it's just off.
Oh, okay. Because for some people, I think it was like malfunctioning where it was like heated too early or something like that. And so like that's hilarious. Like the one thing
it's
that
honestly
you don't
insane
think...
that the dependency on the internet is absolutely
how
mental, man.
Fragile is our society, bro.
It's crazy. And then you realize what's AWS in your life that like breaks. Like I had this Fitbit thing I have at home, and I was like, "Oh man, why isn't it syncing today? What's going on?"
Start my day.
Yeah, I can't even.
AWS goes down. You can't get on Zoom. Your mattress is too hot. You're like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not too crazy today.
The crazy thing is, imagine it's actually waking you up. Like at a wrong time, because a lot of people use it to like wake them up.
But how funny is that? When you wake up, you're probably emailing your boss. I need a personal day. I need
a personal day because
today
AWS
did not
is
start
down.
off on the right foot. My AI-powered blender wasn't working. Like nothing's working right now.
When you say it like that, it's crazy how crazy this all is.
So
there was a great tweet that said, sorry, just that last bit said, if your job was affected by the AWS outage, you don't have a real job.
yeah, that was good. Also, Trung, just to bring it back to the topic, just to summarize in one line, for me, I think ChatGPT shopping is way closer to Google search than it is the others for me. Like to me, it's right now anyway, it's research, specific query, and like maybe they'll serve you those ads proactively, but to me, it's more, specific stuff, which Google still is the best for at the moment.
Well, let me explain to you. Here's the question that everyone's asking. Will Walmart get into the ChatGPT? No, sorry, will Amazon, all right? Because Walmart makes sense, right? Walmart is the second largest e-commerce company in the world. It's become a monster, by the way. It does 100 billion.
That's crazy.
E-com. Yeah, 100 bill a year e-com.
Incredible.
Amazon still does 450. So it's not quite at Amazon level yet, but Walmart.
It's massive though.
Yeah, it's massive. Walmart can
Well, they're the biggest retailer though, including offline, obviously.
Yeah, but right, of course, right? It's but
so
100 billion is just online or no? Or everything?
So.
Yeah, 100 billion just online.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mental.
Because they turned all their warehouses in their distribution centers. Because let me read to you guys some of the stats about Walmart. It's insane.
Trung, could you explain what that means? Say that again. You said they turned their warehouse into distribution centers.
You remember, what was a big advantage?
Supply chain wise, you're saying?
Yeah. So yeah, supply chain wise, Amazon had a big advantage because they're building their fulfillment centers with the idea of being internet first, right? Walmart had these massive warehouses, thousands of 5,000 across America, but they weren't initially built for internet. They're built for people coming in, parking their cars, and rolling out with $500 worth of random stuff, right? So give me some crazy numbers. They employ 2.1 million workers, 700 bill a year in revenue total. So 100 bill of that is e-com. 5,000 stores across America. Here's the kicker. 90% of America lives within 16 kilometers of one of their stores. So that was a distribution footprint advantage that a lot of people thought that they would eventually be able to leverage to go over to Amazon. That's exactly what's happened. Because they do a lot of pickup, like a parking lot pickup. You order groceries and you come grab it, right? So them joining ChatGPT makes sense because Amazon is fully enclosed online. It's a closed loop system. And this might actually end up being Amazon's advantage. So I'm curious, especially Bilal's take on this. So the logic I'm hearing is this. Amazon does not want to give up its closed system, right? It does 500 bill a year on its platform of sales. And because of how the website, how dominant it is, as we've talked about, it does 50 bill a year in ads. After Facebook and Google, it's the third largest digital ad player in the world. And that's because you're paying for placement inside Amazon's closed garden, right? And a merchant now, third-party merchants, which is the majority of Amazon sales, they apparently pay percent of revenue, 50% on fees and ads. Like that's what's basically happened. So the opportunity for OpenAI and Walmart is actually, if you're a merchant, we're not going to screw you on the fees and the ads. We'll hit you up with a percentage of sales and maybe some of the payment processing, 1 or 2%, but we're not going to hit you over the head like Amazon is. In Amazon's case, do they want the distribution that ChatGPT offers with the risk of giving up their data? Because the issue, the advantage with Amazon at the end of the day, it's a closed loop system. No one in the world can tell you better the performance of your ads than Amazon because they literally own it from soup to nuts, right?
Yeah.
Whereas ChatGPT actually cannot fully tell you the performance of your ad. So Bilal, here's a very
or Google ads too, right? Because there's a disconnect. Yeah.
If you are Amazon, would you take the chance of getting extra ChatGPT distribution because that's where people's going? Or do you just stay in your walled garden, maybe lose some distribution, but you still have the best ads? Like what?
No, I think distribution wins long term, right? So I think,
really?
It's hard to say in terms of it depends on the deal, right? Like, what are they paying them? Are they paying them a percentage or whatever? They would have to make sense numbers-wise.
Never give up the data, though, right? Do not give up the performance data.
Yeah. But to me, it's more like long-term. If more people... I just see, to me, ChatGPT, for an average person, it replaces a massive segment of search.
Yeah.
So if it's like saying, 10 years ago, if you're Amazon, do you want traffic from Google or not? Like, so to me, I think
But that's 10 years ago. That's a much different time.
Yeah, you're right. So, but yeah, maybe the timing they would have to figure out. Personally, I just think to them, I don't know. I mean, it's a good question because you're right. Amazon was in a different position 10 years ago versus now. Like a lot of the thing, even when I was there was a whole thing about people just going to Amazon as the starting point versus Google, right? So like originally you search for everything on Google, and then for product searches, eventually a lot of people just go straight to Amazon because they know that's where they're buying it. They don't want to do a comparison shopping. They're just like one-click purchase. So yeah, I guess they would have to figure out the benefit of that extra distribution, I think. But yeah, overall, I think more and more searches go to ChatGPT, in my opinion, probably. Yeah. So if that's the case...
you think Amazon will ultimately have to play in that pool?
I think so, and then they'll have to play in Gemini, like, all of the... But right now, I think they already do recommend Amazon products, right? It's not like they aren't driving any traffic. It's more if you can do a one-click purchase, is there real detailed integration? That is an interesting point because maybe there's less benefit for Amazon in that regard because they're like, well, everyone's got an Amazon account already. They can click and check out on our page. We don't need to give a margin to ChatGPT or pay for a click or something like that. So yeah, but I would say if they launch ads, they're going to be using them because they at that scale, you run ads on everything. So I think they'll be wherever they can get. If they can get incremental 5% of traffic, 10%, 20%, they're definitely going to. At that scale, it makes a massive difference, I think.
Jack, any thoughts?
Not really. I mean, No, I don't think so. You said it well.
All right, beautiful. Let's wrap then. Here's a little ditty. OpenAI officially released ChatGPT Atlas. It's browser. So it says that ChatGPT is the quote-unquote beating heart of the browser. And here's a couple of things that they've noted as features. I'm curious if you guys will try it out based on what you're about to hear. All right. So they said the number one feature is memory. So they say the more personalized and helpful for you. In Atlas, it can take actions for you, including booking reservations or flights. Bilal, right down your alley. Gonna use all that chat content to book flights for you, and it can even edit documents on your behalf. And then when you click on a link now in the browser, similar to kind of the ones that you had mentioned Perplexity with Comet, when you click on a link now, it splits screens. Left side is the browser, right side is ChatGPT to query. Seems, man, It seems like if you're a ChatGPT fan, you might be using this bad boy.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I would try it for sure.
Okay.
I already used the desktop app for ChatGPT, so
Is it?
Yeah. Do you guys use desktop app or you just using a browser?
I use
Web at
desktop
the
also
moment.
every now and then.
But
I like
you've been
the little-
using barely AI, obviously, for the
I
desktop
do both,
app
but like
experience.
you gotta know what the latest use case is. But I love you click it has a small bar. But dude, Amazon Alphabet down 3% on the news.
Yeah, they've obviously been on a tear for the year, so it might be a little bit of a correction anyway. But I think
Did you boys
they're going for it, man. Go on, Jack.
see that the sometimes when you open up Google now on your phone, it's basically a ChatGPT.
Or like Gemini.
Yeah, you get like the conversation instead of the Google search box, which seems like a big
when you
paradigm
open
shift.
Chrome, it goes AI mode. I haven't noticed
And
that.
I was with some people last week, and that was like maybe they're testing it on different regions or whatever, maybe on mobile only. But yeah, like
Where it
the
says meet
behavior at
AI
scale.
mode, right?
Yeah,
Was
but the
that AI
behavior
mode
at
or-
scale.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying even in some cases, it just literally like whatever you type, maybe it's dependent on your query, it goes straight into the AI conversation, which is like a big
change,
paradigm shift for something like Google, right? Where people think of even the company Google is like synonymous with that feature of just like, give me a list of results for my query as opposed to like answer me in prose or whatever. So interesting.
Yeah, it is different. I mean, the other thing is though, have you guys seen the Google numbers of searches is still growing, which is pretty crazy
That's
to
the
me.
thing, right?
Because
It's
because I've been have definitely searched way less on Google since ChatGPT has become so key to the experience. But then I think we also forget, like, let's say Gemini is a better experience for most people than Google search, just comparing the two. For a lot of people, you're going to get a better answer in Gemini. So like they're surfacing that now in Google search, like right at the top, right? The AI overview or whatever it's called nowadays. So I just feel like there's still a massive window for them to keep gaining share, you know, in AI searches, I'm saying specifically. So because we always talk about distribution wins, so they already have 3 billion plus whatever it is using it. They still have that window. But yeah, the browser thing is a big one, man. I mean, obviously the Chrome was such a big play for them as well, to get people searching and staying within the ecosystem. So yeah, if more people use ChatGPT browser, that's going to be an issue. Trung, you got to run now, yeah?
Yeah, I got a buggy, guys.
All
This
right.
is amazing.
This was great to chat, boys. Really good chat. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll save, we've got some good stuff on DeepSeek. Winston Churchill going ham too, Trung. I saw
Yeah,
your
we'll
thread.
talk
That was,
about
that was great.
that was
Yeah.
amazing. Let's save that for next week or something, because that was a good fun fact fan.
From Andrew
That's-
Ross Sorkin's new book, 1929.
Yeah,
But, all right,
good lad.
I got a
All
boogie,
right,
guys.
boys, that was
Kinda
fun, man.
quick.
All right, have a good
Peace.
one. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Peace, guys.